Soundgarden, who had recently broken up as well. So they formed a band and they did like 3 albums, I believe. Maybe two. Anyways, the first album was really good. Second album, it just, in my opinion, it flopped.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because they went from the sound that they had originally gone with, and then almost completely changed it to make it even more mainstream. Like, and I just like, ugh. And of course, everybody's like, "Oh no, it's like, oh, audio save," and it just drives me nuts with people like that because I mean they don't realize or know how that band came together when they're like, "Oh, I can know everything about them," and half of them don't know that Chris Cornell was in Soundgarden and their next Rage members with them. So, and it was cool at the time because that was a fusion that hadn't been done yet. Because Rage was not, I don't want to say new metal pretty much being kind of rock rap sort of thing. But Rage Against the Machine was different to begin with because their guitarist, Tommy Morello, was just a guitar genius. A lot of sound stuff you think that would be made by synthesizers or just like, audio enhancers, that sort of thing, and it's all stuff he's doing with the guitar, which just makes it that much cooler. You have that much more respect for him as a guitarist. So Rage was definitely unique. And
They were, and didn't they do that song? Was it Heavy?
I don't know a song called Heavy. They've done uh trying to think. They had a song Freedom, Bulls on Parade, Bomb Track, uh on The Matrix, Know Your Enemy.
That's the one I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah, that was one of my. I really did love that song, and I love the way that it started out. You could put that up in your car, and it would vibrate you.
Yeah. No, they are one of my favorites tonight, and I got to see them live twice. It would have been 3 times if I'd seen the other show, but so I'd seen them before live, and they're really cool, like really high energy, and like really cool to see live. And it just they're one band, even though they were very politically driven. No, their words did have deep meaning, and a lot of songs were about real situations. Obviously, with a different title, they didn't kind of name it after the situation itself. They just give a different title, but no, they kind of drive home the idea of what was going on, that sort of thing. And so, if you like that, if you like kind of rock rap, we'll call it somewhat political, then Rage is really cool. Unfortunately, they're not together, but they do have 4 great albums that you can check out. Plus, they've done some songs on soundtracks, and they did one for The Crow. So they're a great band, but even cooler to see live. And actually, here's a fun fact: when they played on Saturday Night Live in, I want to say it was like '95, maybe '96. They had their second album, Evil Empire, and they played on Saturday Night Live. But they were only allowed to play one song because they had the U.S. flag upside down, which is a signal of distress. And they were only allowed to play one song because of it.
Yeah, that was controversial. I didn't know anything about their political. Are they anarchists? Is that their thing?
Oh no, 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 no! They're not anarchists by any means.
Oh, okay.
No, no, not even close. They're talking about it. Uh, um, like the song "Know Your Enemy." I mean, it's kind of they're against the government. It's almost like kind of punk lyrics in a rock rap.
Gotcha.
But the lyrics are 10 times better. But yeah, they're not anarchists by any means.
Okay,
if,
I was like, oh, that's very interesting.
if they are, it's news to me.
Okay, because I was like, now you got me really curious. I had no idea about their political situation, so now I'm gonna be googling.
Yeah. Well, they actually played Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, okay.
So first time a U.S. band played in Cuba, so it was kind of groundbreaking there too. I don't know how they got their permission to do it, but they did it. So
Oh, that's crazy. I'm curious about that too.
so
Thank you, Google.
yeah, exactly. Just a few other things before I get into your blogs. Last night I had the chance to interview Rob from Static in Verona, And if you guys missed it, it is up. I did post a link for it. If not, you can go to Spreaker.com under Dr. Bones Music, and it's an interview with Rob from Static in Verona. And it was a lot of fun. It would give me a real chance to talk about music. I mean, it was the first interview I've had in a while where we were, besides talking about the new album coming out and, his previous album, we actually were talking actual music, like with like stuff we've both used for recording or that sort of thing. So it was really interesting, and I haven't got to talk about that stuff for a while because I don't know too many people who know about these programs that are like in the area that I have to call up, and I won't have to call the person up every time and just say, hey man, you want to start talking music? Because check this out. So very cool guy, very good interview. And the day before that, I had Emma Harrop, and she's a solo artist in the UK. Really great. Her EP, she's hoping will be out in December. Her fingers crossed. It's called Desperation, and I have played a few of her songs on NMS, 3 to be exact, and they are on her SoundCloud. We played Ocean, Desperation, and Your Ocean, Desperation, and Ex-Girlfriend, and they're cool tunes. She's got a really good voice, and she mixes it up, so it's not kind of, we'll call it genreified.
Cool, I'm excited to hear that.
So be sure to check those out, and all the other reviews I've done in the past little bit. Coming up on December 5th, I will have Culture Trust, Pete from Culture Trust, which I'm really looking forward to because I've been playing stuff for a while, so I'm going to have him on the show. On the 10th, tentatively for December 10th, I will have Millie Manders from the UK. And I'm not sure whether it's going to be next Wednesday or late Friday afternoon, but I'm waiting for confirmation on having Lord Numb on. And Lord Numb is one of my favorite artists in the UK, but he did my intro, my new intro for the show.
Oh, neat.
So very excited to have him on. Like I said, I'm just waiting for confirmation. So it's just now essentially is my busy interview time, just because more and more people are spending time inside because it's getting cold out. So it makes it easier to set things up because people are usually home, like, after they're done work or whatever, what have you. So, but it's nice because it's getting very busy, and I've had a couple of double shots. I almost forgot. Next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. in the UK, I will have the Urchins on. I did have to cancel yesterday. Unfortunately, I had a few things come up, so I couldn't do the interview with them that day. But next Tuesday, we'll be on the air at 3 p.m. in the afternoon here in the Eastern time zone, and then in the UK it'll be at 8 p.m. So Britt, let's get into your blogs.
Okay, great. This week I posted a review of Hercules, which is now on DVD. It's the version starring Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, not to be confused with the Kellen Lutz version that no one wanted to see nor cared that it was made. And this is a really solid Sword and Sandal epic, great beats of comedy, kind of a different era, but it reminded me somewhat of A Knight's Tale. They got a lot right about this movie.
Right.
It was very entertaining, very engaging, and Dwayne Johnson, who I think is one of the few action stars who can actually act, does a really great job as Hercules. So you're really pulling for him. This is one of the rare hero movies where the hero is better, more interesting, and more fun to watch than the villain. So that says a lot about the movie. And then top 20 remaining movies. This week I'll be posting another one this weekend. Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal as a tabloid journalist who starts to blur the line between observer and participant to make these stories possible. Huge marks for Jake Gyllenhaal. He lost 20 pounds for this role, and also injured his hand when a scene became too method. He punched a mirror. So that, ouch. But yeah, he's very dedicated to this role. So yeah, he's experimenting. His filmography has been very interesting. The previous role of this, Prisoners, and before that, End of Watch. He's becoming a very fun actor to watch. Very interesting. He's taking a lot of risks. Also, St. Vincent, starring Bill Murray and Melissa McCarthy. Curious to see that. Kind of like Bad Santa meets Bad Words meets that Nick Cassavetes movie from the 90s, Unhook the Stars. Pretty much, if you just throw all those movies together, this would be it. But Bill Murray, excited to see him go up against Melissa McCarthy, so that's what's making me excited to see it. Have you seen the trailer for that?
No, I've seen a few previews though. So
yeah, and it looks really cute.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So it's when I probably will go see, and I'm actually I was thinking about it today because my buddy and I were talking about it. I think actually might go see Dumb and Dumber in the theaters.
Oh wow.
At first I wasn't going to. I was like, oh, maybe I will. I mean, because it's a funny movie. So it'd be funny seeing the big screen, right? So, and of course, we started talking about the first movie. And obviously, a lot of the funny moments in that. And like I told myself, my favorite one was the favorite parts when they're in the orange and blue tuxedos. You got the huge the top hats and the canes, and comes behind him and then just cracks him in the back of the knee with a cane, like just out of nowhere. Like I just really thought that was like one of the funniest parts. And then he's like trying to remember. Goes, what happened at the end of the bus? He goes, oh yeah, well, they're walking along, and that bus full of bikini models are there, and saying, no, we need some oil boys to oil us up for the shows. Do you know anyone who can help us? He's like, no, but they may be able to help you in the town over there. Like, oh, okay. Just looked. Oh, there we go. All right, we just had a little bit of a breakup there. I'm not sure the delay is, so I apologize for that little technical hiccup. But I was just saying that I was going to see Dumb and Dumber in the movie in the theaters this time around, and like I said, we're talking about the movie a little bit, my buddy and I. So, and you're right. Some sequels, pretty much all sequels have a lot to live up to if you want to get as many laughs as the first one. And then there's been so many, and there's some of them that go like 5 or 6, right? I mean, like Police Academy. They won 6 movies. Actually, I think they had a 7th. Like I think it was like Operation Russia or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is so rare for comedies to get franchised like that anymore.
Well, it started in the '80s, and pretty much, it was done by the early '90s, if it got that far. But pretty much, no, they did. Yeah, it was probably like '82 to like maybe '89, '90, like right around there.
Yeah, my brother was little. He was obsessed with Police Academy, and all he wanted for Christmas one year was all of the Police Academy. They had apparently a bunch of garb and little action figures and everything. They really marketed it out, and so my parents. It had been so many years since Police Academy had came out. Everything was on like the dollar.
Oh yeah.
Rack, and they were like, "You're getting everything Police Academy," and he was in heaven. He played with that stuff for years.
Oh man.
But sweet memories.
Well, those are the type of movies that were so stupid they were funny, right? So.
True.
But,
I think that's why he was 6. He loved them.
Yeah. So let's get back to your blog. So we're kind of sidetracked there for a moment.
Okay, and the other movies were Laggies, which stars Keira Knightley. This is another in a line of hipster dramas, which basically she's a 20-something who gets proposed to and runs away from her life to get some things in order by befriending a teenager and moving in with her and the teenager's dad, who played by Sam Rockwell, who is one of my favorite actors. So Keira Knightley and Sam Rockwell make this worth watching for me. Movies about people who have it all and then they're still crying. It gets very boring very quickly. But I do love the director who made this movie, Lynn Shelton, I believe is her name, and she directed this really cool indie, I think it was like 2 years ago, called Your Sister's Sister, with Mark Duplass, Emily Blunt, which is a really fun comedy, and I don't know how many people have seen it, but it was really good. I highly recommend it. It's genuinely funny, and it has some quirky characters. And then there was one other, and the movie Before I Go to Sleep with Nicole Kidman. Have you seen the trailers for this?
I have not, no.
Yeah, it's a thriller. It's about a woman who has amnesia. Basically, kind of like 50 First Dates meets Memento. She wakes up every day and she has no memory of the previous day. All she can remember, she had a terrible car accident, I believe it was, 20 years ago. And so everything since that point, she doesn't remember every day. So she has to trust that the man who says he's her husband is her husband, and apparently something happens that starts to make her suspect everything is not as it seems, so she teams up with her doctor, played by Mark Strong, to try to answer some of those long, those lingering questions. I love psychological thrillers. They are very